The alert was soft, a gentle ping that did not match its meaning. Ensign Choi Tae-won straightened in his seat on the bridge of the battlecruiser Magpie. He was young, his face still holding the roundness of youth, but his eyes were serious as they scanned his screen. "Captain," he said, his voice clear in the quiet hum of the ship, "we are receiving a distress call. Priority Gamma. It is from the research outpost on Lee 347. Captain Lee Jae turned from the main viewing screen. He was a man who carried his years in the lines on his face and the patience in his movements. The Magpie was an old ship, part of the Unified Space Command's border fleet. Its job was mostly to be seen, a quiet guardian on the edge of human-colonized space. Real action was something from Lee Jae's past. "Put it through, Ensign," Lee Jae said. The voice that filled the bridge was female, calm but firm. "This is Doctor and Hygiene of Outpost Theta on Lee 347. We are registering a non-standard slipspace rupture at bearing 027. It is not on any schedule. It does not match natural patterns. We are uneasy, requesting a patrol vessel to investigate." Lee Jae exchanged a look with his tactical officer, Commander Park Soo-min. She was sharp with a mind that saw patterns in chaos. A slipspace rupture that close to an outpost? It could be a lost freighter, she suggested. Or it could not, Lee Jae replied quietly. He leaned forward. "Doctor, and this is Captain Lee Jae of the USC Magpie. We are 15 hours from your position at Standard Cruise. Can you give us more data? Any energy signatures?" There was a pause, filled with static. "Negative, Magpie. Our long-range scanners are basic. Only the rupture signature. It was sharp, artificial, and now it is gone." The word artificial hung in the air. In this lonely sector, only two things made artificial slipspace ruptures: Unified Space Command vessels and the separatist forces who had been raiding supply lines for months. "Understood," Lee Jae said. "Go to quiet protocol. We are moving to your position. We will be there in 10 hours with a pushed burn." "Thank you, Captain. We will be waiting." The channel closed. Lee Jae stood up. "Commander Park, plot the fastest course. Engineer Kim, I need you to warm up the main drive. We are going to burn hard for 9 hours, then coast in quietly. I do not want to ring any bells." In the engine room, Engineer Kim Min-ji heard the order and smiled a little. The Magpie was old, but she knew its heart. She patted a main console as if it were a living thing. "Okay, old girl. Time to stretch your legs." Her hands flew over the controls, routing power, preparing the ship for a run it was not designed to make often. Back on the bridge, Ensign Choi watched his sensor screen. The little light that was Outpost Theta blinked steadily. The space around it was empty and black. But in his mind, he saw the sharp, unnatural tear in reality that the doctor had described. A slit in the dark, opening and closing. He felt a chill. For 10 hours, the Magpie sailed. The mood was tense but quiet. Crew did their jobs. Lee Jae rested in his chair, but did not sleep. He thought about Dr. N's voice. She was not panicked. She was a scientist. She reported facts. But the fact she reported was a threat. As they neared the outpost, Lee Jae ordered, "Go to battle stations. Quietly. No active scans. Use passive sensors only. Let us see what is there before it sees us." The bridge lights dimmed to a deep blue. The main screen showed the view from their cameras. A small, potato-shaped asteroid appeared, with little lights dotting its surface. That was Outpost Theta, home to 20 researchers. Then, behind it, something else came into view. "Captain," Park Soo-min whispered, "I am reading debris. Metal. Composite. A lot of it." On the screen, the wreckage of a large ship became clear. It was scattered around a smaller, spinning core. The identification beacon from the core sputtered a weak signal. "It is the supply convoy tender Green Valley," Ensign Choi said, his voice tight. "It was scheduled to be in this sector 2 days ago." Before anyone could speak, bright points of light flared from the shadowed side of the asteroid. "Multiple launches," Park Soo-min called out. "Torpedoes. They are on a course for the outpost." Lee Jae did not hesitate. All point defense guns intercept those torpedoes. Now, Park, find who fired them. The Magpie shuddered as its defensive weapons came to life. Lines of tracer fire cut across the dark, meeting the incoming torpedoes in silent explosions of light and metal. Most were destroyed, but not all. 2 pieces of heavy debris, blown from the torpedoes, spun out of control and slammed into the outpost's main docking ring. A new distress call screamed over the channel, filled with static and alarm. It was Dr. N's voice, breaking with panic. "They are using us as bait. They are—" The signal turned to noise. On the sensor screen, new contacts appeared. 3 small, fast ships, their engines firing as they ran from the asteroid's shadow, using the outpost and the debris field as cover. Their identity codes flashed on the screen, clear and horrifying. They were the coded signatures of Unified Space Command friendly vessels. Lee J stared, his blood going cold. His ship had just fired weapons. The outpost was hit, and on any scanner in the sector it would look like the Magpie had attacked a friendly research station to engage friendly ships. "Track them," he ordered, his voice like stone. "And get me a channel to command. Now." But Ensign Choi was looking at his panel, his face pale. "Sir, we are being painted by a targeting scanner. A strong one. From the direction of the separatist border." A warning, bright and bloody red, flashed on every screen on the bridge. It was an automated alert sent to every ship in the fleet. Red warning. A human battlecruiser is advancing rapidly. The message did not say which battlecruiser was the threat. But Lee J knew with a sinking certainty that to everyone receiving it, the warning was about the Magpie. Silence gripped the bridge of the Magpie. The red warning text pulsed on every screen like a heartbeat of alarm. Ensign Choi Tae-won was the first to move, his hands shaking as he tried to open a channel to command. "All frequencies are jammed, Captain," he said, his voice thin. "The outgoing jam is strong. It is coming from those fleeing ships." Captain Lee J kept his eyes on the main viewer. The 3 small ships were getting smaller, their engines bright tails in the dark. Behind them, the research outpost spun slowly. A cloud of air and dust leaked from a gash in its side. "Someone does not want us talking," Lee J said. His mind was working fast, pushing past the shock. "Park, analysis. Now." Commander Park Sumin's fingers danced across her tactical panel. The torpedoes were a low-yield scatter type, meant to look threatening, not to destroy. The debris that hit the outpost was bad luck. But the result is the same. She pulled up the identity codes of the fleeing ships. "These IFF codes are valid. They are assigned to the 4th Patrol Wing. But the 4th Wing is supposed to be in dry dock for maintenance, light years away. So they are stolen codes," Lee J said. "Or given," Park replied quietly. The implication was clear. Someone with high-level access had provided separatist forces with the keys to look like friends. And they had used them to paint a target on the Magpie. "Can we clear our name?" Ensign Choi asked. "We have our own sensor logs. They show we were defending the outpost. Our logs can be altered by command if they think we are rogue," Lee J said. "We need an independent record." He turned. "Hail the outpost again. Any frequency. Even if we just get a data packet." Choi tried. For a long minute there was only static. Then, a broken voice came through. "Magpie, this is we have heavy damage in Sector D. Life support is stable. For now." Dr. and Hygiene's voice was strained, but under control. "We recorded everything. The initial slipspace rupture, the attack on the tender. We saw their real signatures before they turned on the fake codes. We have it all." Lee J felt a surge of hope. "Doctor, you must transmit that data to command." Direct lasercom burst. "Do not use the open network." "Understood. Transmitting now." "But Captain," she hesitated. "Our long-range array was in the damaged section. Our lasercom is weak. It will take time to align and send the full data packet." "Do what you can," Lee J said. "We will buy you that time." He knew what that meant. The Magpie had to stay. It had to be a shield for the outpost, even as every ship in the sector now saw it as a threat. Engineer Kim, Lee Jae called over the ship's intercom. "What is our status?" Kim Minji's voice came back, tight with focus. "The engines are hot but good. Point defense guns used a lot of power. I can give you speed or I can give you fight. Not both at peak for long." "Understood. Stand by." A new alert chimed on Park's console. Her face went still. "Captain, a unified space command task force has just dropped out of slipspace. At the edge of the sector. Bearing 180. They are launching scout fighters and they are scanning us with targeting locks." Lee Jae closed his eyes for a second. This was the trap snapping shut. The separatists had run, leaving the Magpie holding the knife at the scene of a crime. Now the police had arrived. "Open a channel on the command emergency frequency. Use the authorization code Bravo 7. That is my personal code, not the ship's. It might get through the jam." Ensign Choi worked quickly. "Channel open, sir. Unified Command Task Force. This is Captain Lee Jae of the Battlecruiser Magpie. We are on site at a hostile action against Research Outpost Theta. We have engaged separatist forces using stolen IFF. The outpost is damaged. We are standing by to assist and provide full sensor logs. Please acknowledge." They waited. The silence stretched. On the tactical screen, the icons of the command fighters moved closer, spreading out in an attack pattern. Finally, a voice replied. It was cold and formal. "Magpie, this is Admiral Kwan of the USC Vanguard. You are ordered to stand down immediately. Cut your engines and weapons power. Prepare to be boarded." Lee Jae's jaw tightened. "Admiral, there has been a deception. Request you scan the wreckage of the Green Valley. Scan the outpost's preliminary data. The hostile vessels fled toward the separatist border. We can pursue." "Your orders are to stand down, Captain." Admiral Kwan's voice held no room for argument. "You are broadcasting a red warning. You have fired weapons near a civilian installation. You will comply." Lee Jae looked at Park Soo-min. She shook her head slowly. If they were boarded now with this story, they would be disarmed. Their logs would be taken. The outpost's weak transmission might never be heard. The truth would be buried. He made a decision. "Ensign Choi, cut the channel." He took a deep breath. "Engineer Kim, give me everything you have. Plot a course for the separatist border, following the trajectory of those 3 ships. Park, charge the jump drive for a short slip. But do not engage until I say." "Captain," Park asked, her eyes wide. "They will see that as a run. They will see it as proof." "They already have their proof," Lee Jae said, his voice low. "We are not running. We are chasing. And we are the only ones who can catch the real proof. We have to get the data from the outpost to command, and to do that, we need to clear our name. To clear our name, we need one of those ships. Or its black box." He saw the understanding dawn on their faces. It was a terrible risk. It looked like guilt. But it was the only move left. "The fighters are moving into attack position," Park warned. "Evasive pattern Delta. Do not return fire. Not a single shot," Lee Jae ordered. "Kim, punch it." The Magpie's engines roared to life. The old ship surged forward, away from the outpost, away from the advancing task force, and into the deep, open dark toward the enemy border. On the bridge of the Vanguard, Admiral Kwan saw the battlecruiser accelerate and his heart sank. The red warning on his screen seemed to pulse in time with his own disappointment. On the Magpie, Lee Jae watched the stars stretch. He had just turned his ship and his crew into fugitives. Somewhere behind him, a weak laser signal, carrying the truth, was slowly aiming toward a command receiver. It would be a race to find proof before his own side found him and ended the chase for good. The engine thrum was a deep, constant vibration through the decks of the Magpie. Captain Lee Jae stood steady on the bridge, watching the stars stream past on the main viewer. They were running and everyone knew it. "Command Task Force is not pursuing," Commander Park Soo-min reported, her voice tight. "They are holding position near the outpost, probably securing it and collecting evidence. Evidence against us," Lee Jae finished quietly. He turned to Ensign Choi Tae-won. Any response from the outpost? The young ensign shook his head. Their lasercom signal stopped 10 minutes ago. Either they finished the transmission or he didn't need to finish, or the damage was worse than they thought, or the command task force had ordered them silent. Engineer Kim Min-ji's voice came over the intercom, strained. Captain, we cannot keep this burn rate. The secondary coolant lines are overheating. I need to dial it back in 20 minutes or we will cook the drive from the inside. Lee Jae looked at the tactical map. They were heading into a sparse region of the sector, a buffer zone before the contested border. The 3 ships they were chasing had vanished from passive sensors, lost in the noise of deep space. Give me 15 more minutes, engineer. Then drop to a sustainable cruise. Understood. Park Soo-min leaned over her console, her brow furrowed. Sir, I have been analyzing the sensor data from the attack. The enemy ship signatures. There is something wrong with them. Explain. When they first appeared from behind the asteroid before they launched torpedoes, our passive scanners caught a glimpse. For less than a second. Their engine signatures matched known separatist profiles, older fusion drives with a specific radiation spike. She pulled up 2 lines of data on a side screen. Then, after the launch, their IFF beacons came on, showing as friendlies. But the engine signatures, they changed. They became cleaner, matching our own newer drives. Lee Jae stared at the data. That is impossible. A ship cannot change its engine signature in flight. Unless the first signature was real, and the second one was a computer trick, Park said, her eyes meeting his. A false signal broadcast to our sensors. And to command's sensors. A cold knot formed in Lee Jae's stomach. A spoof, not just stolen codes. A full electronic warfare suite making them look like us. And making us. He trailed off, the pieces clicking together with terrible clarity. Making us look like them, Park finished. When Admiral Kwan's task force scanned us, they would have seen a battlecruiser with a spoofed separatist IFF code, shooting near a civilian outpost. The red warning was automatic. It triggers when a ship with a hostile signature moves aggressively. Ensign Choi looked up, horrified. So on command screens, we are not the Magpie. We are a separatist raider. The bridge fell silent except for the hum of the ship. The trap was far more sophisticated than they had imagined. It was not just a frame-up. It was a complete electronic disguise. Someone had turned their own identity against them. Can we prove it? Lee Jae asked. Can we reverse the spoof? Or show our true code? Park shook her head. The spoofing signal is external. It is being projected at us like a jamming field. To command, our ship's transponder is broadcasting a separatist call sign. Until that external signal stops, we are painted as the enemy. The only proof is the original data from the outpost, or, she paused, or one of the ships doing this to us, Lee Jae said. We need its black box, its mission log, physical evidence. The task force will not listen to us now, Park said. We are a human battlecruiser advancing rapidly with a hostile tag. Standard protocol is to warn, then engage. As if on cue, a new alert chimed. Ensign Choi flinched. Incoming tight beam laser communication. From the command task force. Marked, final warning. Put it on speaker, Lee Jae said. Admiral Kwan's voice filled the bridge, stern and final. Captain Lee Jae, this is your last chance. Cut your engines and surrender. Your actions have caused severe damage to a research station. Your continued flight confirms your hostile intent. If you do not comply, you will be declared an enemy of unified command. You have 5 minutes to acknowledge. Lee Jae walked to his chair and sat down slowly. He looked at the faces of his crew. Park waiting for an order. Choi looking to him for hope. He thought of Kim Min-ji in engineering, fighting to keep the old ship together. He keyed the ship-wide intercom. His voice was calm, clear. This is the captain. You have all seen the warning. You know the situation. I believe a high-level corruption within command has arranged this. They have given our identity to the separatists and taken theirs for us. Our own side sees us as the enemy. The only way to prove the truth is to find the ships that did this and get hard evidence. To do that, we must continue. This will be hard. We will be hunted. If anyone cannot follow this course, report to the escape pod bay now. No shame will be attached. This is my choice, not yours. He paused. No one on the bridge moved. No alert for escape pods sounded. After a moment, Kim Minji's voice crackled over the intercom from engineering. The engines are hot, Captain. Where we go, they go. Lee Jae felt a heavy pride. He switched back to the open channel to Admiral Kwan. Admiral, we cannot comply. We are pursuing the true hostiles. We will find the proof. Magpie out. He nodded to Ensign Choi, who cut the channel. They will come for us now, Park said softly. I know, Lee Jae replied. Engineer Kim, time's up. Drop to cruise speed. Park, I need a new course. Not directly toward the border. Take us through the debris field of the old Charybdis mining cluster. Let's use the junk to hide our heat signature. And scan for any residue from those 3 ships. They had to go somewhere. The Magpie slowed, its fierce acceleration dropping to a steady run. Behind them, now officially fugitives, they left the rule of law. Ahead was only the cluttered, dangerous dark and the slim hope of a truth that could save them. The red warning on their own screens was no longer just an alert. It was their new reality. The Charybdis mining cluster was a graveyard of industry. Giant, broken shells of automated processors and abandoned haulers drifted in a loose cloud of metal and rock. It was the perfect place to hide, and the perfect place to die if your navigation was off by a meter. Captain Lee Jae watched as Commander Park Soo-min guided the Magpie through the wreckage with careful, precise commands. The ship moved slowly, its running lights off, a ghost in the metal jungle. Reading high-energy particle traces on bearing 290, Park said, her voice a whisper in the quiet bridge. Fresh, less than an hour old. Consistent with the drive signatures of the ships we chased. Follow it, Lee Jae said. He turned his chair to face Ensign Choi Tae-won. Any change in our identity? Choi checked his panel. The transponder code the ship was broadcasting to the universe still labeled them as a separatist raider, the Voidfang. No, sir. The spoofing signal is still active. It must be coming from a stationary source nearby, or from a ship that is staying close. Lee Jae leaned back, thinking. The pieces were starting to fit together, forming a picture he did not like. He remembered a meeting 2 months ago, in a clean office on a command space station. He had been delivering routine reports to the Supply and Procurement Division. A senior official, Director Ko, had been friendly, asking many questions about the Magpie's patrol routes and sensor capacities. Lee had thought nothing of it. Then, a week later, a junior supply clerk had come to him in a dockside bar. The man was nervous, sweating. He said he had seen things. Shipment manifests being altered. High-grade sensor components and military-grade transponder codes being signed off to civilian freighters. Freighters that later vanished near the border. Lee had started looking. Quietly, he had copied data, tracked serial numbers. He had found a trail, a thin one, that led right back to Director Ko's office. His plan had been to gather solid proof, then take it directly to the Inspector General. He had brought the data with him on this mission, stored on a secure, isolated chip in his personal locker. He had thought he was being careful. He had thought he had time. Now the Magpie was in a debris field, hunted, because he had stumbled onto a secret. Director Ko was not just stealing. He was selling technology to the separatists. And now he was cleaning up his mess. The perfect cleanup. Have the separatists destroy the one ship whose captain knew too much, and make it look like that captain had gone rogue. The stolen IFF codes and the spoofing tech were not just weapons. They were the cover story. Sir, Park said, pulling him from his thoughts. The particle trail ends. At that, on the main viewer, nestled between 2 massive, torn-open cargo hulls, was a ship. It was not one of the 3 small raiders. It was larger, a bulky, unmarked freighter with a powerful communications array bolted to its spine. A faint shimmer of energy haze surrounded it. That is the source, Park said, her eyes wide. That haze is a broadband emission field. It is the projector broadcasting the false IFF signal that is making us look like the Voidfang, and probably making the Voidfang look like a friendly patrol ship. Li Jie felt a surge of grim triumph. There's our proof. That ship is the key. Can we disable it without destroying it? Its shields are low, probably just for microdebris, Park analyzed. A targeted shot from our ventral laser could knock out its main emitter array. But the second we power up a weapon, every scanner in the sector will see a separatist raider attacking a civilian freighter. And Director KO's friends in command will see it as final confirmation of my treason. Li Jie finished. He weighed the options. It was a gamble, but the data chip in his locker was not enough. He needed this physical evidence. Ensign Choi, prepare a data burst. Include all the evidence I gathered on Director Ko. Address it to Admiral Kwan's personal secure inbox and to the Inspector General. Use the old priority channel, the one for logistics. It might not be as watched. Yes, sir. Park, target the freighter's emitter array only. The second the data burst is away, you fire. Then be ready for a lot of noise. Choi's fingers flew. Data packet is sealed and sent. It is away, Captain. Now, Park. The Magpie shuddered slightly as a single, precise beam of energy lanced out from its belly. It struck the freighter's array in a silent flash of sparks and molten metal. The shimmering energy haze around the freighter flickered and died. Immediately, Li Jie felt a change. The air on the bridge seemed to lighten. Ensign, our transponder? Choi looked, then smiled for the first time in hours. We are the Magpie again, sir. USC Magpie. The spoof is gone. But the celebration was short-lived. Alarms blared. Park's console lit up like a festival. Multiple new contacts. Slipspace ruptures. Right on top of us. For no 5 ships. Separatist destroyer-class vessels. And they are locking weapons. On the screen, the 5 new warships slid into reality. Their angular, aggressive forms unmistakable. They moved to surround the debris field. Their leader was a ship with a painted hawk on its hull. This was the real Voidfang, and its commander had just seen his precious disguise generator destroyed. A harsh voice came over the open channel. Unified Battlecruiser, you have damaged our property. You will surrender your vessel immediately. Li Jie looked at the tactical display. They were cornered. The command task force was behind them. The separatist squadron was in front. And the only thing he had proven was that he could be a target for both sides at once. He opened a channel. This is Captain Li Jie of the USC Magpie. We have evidence of corruption in Unified Command, evidence that links your forces to a traitor. Stand down and let us pass with the freighter as proof, and you may avoid a larger war. The response was a dry, humorless laugh. You have no proof anyone will believe, Captain. You have only your word. And your word is now the word of a rogue. Prepare to be boarded. The separatist ships began to advance. Li Jie knew a fight here would destroy them, but surrender meant the truth died with them. He had one move left. It was a desperate, stupid move. He turned to Park. Charge the slipspace drive. Plot the shortest possible jump. Right through their formation. Sir? The field is too cluttered. The probability of a catastrophic collision is over 70%. I know, Li Jie said, his voice calm, but it is a probability they will have to share. They are bullies. Bullies do not like a fair fight. Let's see if they like a messy one. Execute. A low whine built through the ship as the Magpie's jump drive powered up, tearing a hole in reality right where it sat. The lead separatist ship, the Voidfang, suddenly veered away, its commander shouting orders to pull back. For a moment, the path was clear. The jump drive whined like a living thing in pain. On the bridge of the Magpie, the air grew thick and static danced on every screen. A tear in space was opening right in the middle of the debris field. Captain Li Jie watched the tactical display. The 5 separatist destroyers were scrambling. The short-range jump was a suicidal move. It was like closing your eyes and running through a burning forest. The Magpie could rip itself apart on a piece of drifting hull, or worse, materialize inside another ship. But the enemy commander was not willing to gamble. "They're breaking formation," Commander Park Soo-min called out. "The lead ship, the Voidfang, is pulling back hard. They're ordering the others to scatter." It was working. The bluff was buying them seconds. "Cut the drive," Lee Jae ordered. "Now. Full reverse on engines. Park. All power to forward shields." The whine died as quickly as it had begun. The unstable jump point collapsed with a silent shudder of distorted light. The Magpie's main engines roared in reverse, throwing everyone against their harnesses. The ship slid backwards, deeper into the tangled maze of wreckage, just as the Separatist squadron regrouped at a safer distance. "They're repositioning to block the exits from the cluster," Park said, breathing hard. "They're not leaving. They're just making sure we can't run." Lee Jae nodded. The move had saved them from immediate capture, but it was a temporary stay. They were now trapped in a metal cage with the guards at every gate. He turned to Ensign Choi Tae-won. "The data burst you sent. Is there any way to know if it was received?" Choi shook his head, his face pale. "No, sir. It was a one-way fire and forget packet on the old logistics channel. If their filters caught it, or if the receiver's inbox is monitored." He didn't finish. The bridge was quiet except for the beeps and hums of the ship. They were stuck. The proof they needed was the unmarked freighter, now sitting silent and damaged a few kilometers away. But it might as well have been on another planet. The Separatists would not let them near it. A new alert chimed, soft but insistent. It was not from outside. It was an internal communication, marked with the code for the ship's medical bay. "Put it through," Lee Jae said. The voice that came was weak, strained with pain, but familiar. It was Doctor and Hygiene from the outpost. "Captain Lee? Can you hear me?" Lee Jae sat up straight. "Dr. N? How are you on this channel?" Faint, pained laugh. "Your medical bay is treating 3 of my people. We were evacuated by the command task force before they came after you. I convinced them my injured needed your larger med facility. I am on the Vanguard, Admiral Kwan's ship." Hope, sharp and sudden, flared in Lee Jae's chest. "Doctor, listen to me. The outpost sensor data? The true data? Did you transmit it?" "We sent it," she said, her voice dropping to a whisper. "But Admiral Kwan, he is a good man, but he is a soldier. He follows the evidence before him. The evidence on his screens shows your ship attacking. He has your data, but he also has Director Ko in his ear, telling him it is a fabrication, a desperate lie from a traitor." Lee Jae's hope turned cold. Of course, Director Ko would be right there in command managing the narrative. "You must make him see," Lee Jae urged. "The freighter here in the debris field is the spoofing source. Its logs will show everything. It will lead back to Ko." "I know," Dr. N said. "I have been trying. But Ko has allies. It is his word against yours, and yours is—" She trailed off. "The word of a rogue." "I know." Lee Jae thought fast. "Can you get me a direct, secure line to the Admiral? Just voice. No video, he can be watched over." "I can try. I am in his med bay. His personal comm terminal is nearby. Give me 2 minutes." The line went silent. The crew waited, the tension thicker than the ship's hull. On the viewer, the Separatist ships held their positions, watching, waiting for them to try to break out. Exactly 2 minutes later, a different channel light lit up on Ensign Choi's panel. "Incoming secure audio, Captain. Point origin, USC Vanguard. Put it on speaker. Isolate it to the bridge only." A click. Then Admiral Kwan's voice, wary and tired. "Lee Jae, this is a severe breach of protocol." "Admiral," Lee Jae said, cutting straight to it, "Director Ko is selling military technology to the Separatists. I have proof of the transfers on a data chip in my locker. The spoofing freighter is here in the Charybdis cluster. Its logs will prove he gave them the means to frame my ship. He arranged the attack on the outpost to silence me." There was a long pause. Lee Jae could hear the distant sounds of the Vanguard's bridge in the background. "Your data packet arrived," Kwan said finally. "I have seen it. It is concerning, but it is not enough for a court. could be forged. And your actions, Captain. Firing on the outpost, fleeing, threatening a jump in a debris field. They speak louder. They are the actions of a man trying to stay alive long enough to deliver the truth. Li Jie's control slipped for a moment. He took a breath. Sir, please, scan the freighter. Its serial number will match a lost shipment co-signed off 6 months ago. Just scan it. Another pause, longer this time. Then, Quan's voice returned, lower. The Separatist squadron is blocking all scan beams. And if I move my task force into the cluster, it will be an act of war. I need more than your word to start a battle. Li Jie closed his eyes. He was out of moves, out of pleas. He was about to thank the Admiral and end the call when a new voice broke into the channel. It was the harsh, dry voice from the Separatist commander of the Voidfang. Are you quite finished, Captain? The voice said. The Separatist had been listening. He had hacked the secure line. A fascinating story. A traitor in your ranks. How convenient. Li Jie froze. Now the enemy knew everything. But the Separatist commander continued, his tone shifting from mockery to something colder, more calculating. This Director Co. He promised us certain technologies. He has delivered only half. And now he uses our operation to clean his house. A soft, angry sound, like a hiss. He plays both sides. He dishonors the agreement. Li Jie's mind raced. He saw an opening, a crack in the wall trapping him. Then you have a common problem with me, he said, speaking clearly to both listeners. He has betrayed you too. He used your ships, then set you up to be destroyed by command once you had done his dirty work. He leaves no witnesses. Silence hung over the three-way channel. Then the Separatist commander spoke again, not to Li Jie, but to Admiral Quan. Admiral, this freighter, if its logs prove this Co is a betrayer of his own people, what then? Admiral Quan's voice was like steel. Then he will face unified command justice. And the ships who were his tools? Who were following the orders of their own command? Who were told this was a sanctioned raid? Li Jie held his breath. He heard the offer in the words. The Separatist commander was not asking for mercy. He was asking for a way out. Quan took a long time to answer. I am listening, he said finally. The crack in the wall widened. A path, thin and dangerous, began to form. The silence on the three-way channel was heavy enough to feel. Captain Li Jie did not move, did not breathe. He could almost hear Admiral Quan thinking, weighing the unthinkable. What is your name, Commander? Quan's voice asked, breaking the quiet. A pause from the Separatist. I am Colonel Ban Kite, of the Free Orbit Fleet. Colonel Ban, Quan said. You understand that if I move my task force in, I am not moving to help you. I am moving to secure evidence and apprehend a traitor. Your fleet will be impounded. Your personnel will be detained as prisoners of war, under the full terms of the Geneva Conventions. Not as terrorists, but you will lose your ships. Another pause. Li Jie imagined the man on the other end, weighing his pride against the survival of his crew. And if we resist? Ban asked, his voice flat. Then you will be destroyed, Quan said, no anger in his tone, just fact. And the traitor wins. He gets his war, he gets his cover-up, and your deaths mean nothing. Li Jie saw his moment. He spoke into the silence. Colonel Ban, you heard him. Prisoners of war. A chance to live. Or you can die here for a man who sold you faulty codes and used you as a disposable tool. What is your command worth? For a full 10 seconds, there was no sound but the faint static of the open channel. Then, Ban's voice returned, hard with resignation. A command is worth the lives of its crew. Admiral Quan, you have your terms. We will stand down. We will not fire upon your ships. But know this, if this is a trick, we will fight. And we will make it cost you. Understood, Quan replied. Secure your weapons. Moving task force to the cluster now. The channel closed. On the tactical screen, the icons representing the 5 Separatist destroyers shifted from aggressive red to a neutral yellow. Their weapon locks disengaged. On the Magpie's bridge, The crew let out a collective breath they hadn't known they were holding. It wasn't over, but the immediate pressure had eased. Admiral Kwan's task force is moving, Park Soo-min reported, her eyes wide with disbelief. They're entering the debris field. 2 cruisers and 4 escorts. They're forming a perimeter around the separatist squadron. Lee Jae watched the screen. It was an incredible, fragile sight. 2 enemy forces, who had been ready to destroy each other, and him minutes before, now holding a tense, silent peace. All because of a common enemy within. Now comes the hard part, Lee Jae said softly. They have to get the freighter's logs. And Director Ko will not just sit and watch. His words were like a prophecy. A new alert screamed from Ensign Choi's station. Captain, high-energy spike from the edge of the sector. A new slipspace rupture. 1 ship. A fast-attack corvette. Its transponder identifies it as the USC Swift Justice. It's a command internal affairs vessel. The sleek, aggressive corvette dropped into real space far from the debris field, but moving fast. It did not hail anyone. It did not join Admiral Kwan's formation. Instead, it powered its engines and shot forward on a direct intercept course. It's heading straight for the unmarked freighter, Park said, her voice rising. Its weapons are hot. It's going to destroy it. Director Ko was making his final move. He was sending his own loyalists to erase the evidence before it could be seized. The Swift Justice was fast enough and armed enough to blast the freighter into atoms before anyone could stop it. Lee Jae slammed his hand on the comm. Admiral, the corvette. It's going to kill the proof. Kwan's voice was tight. I see it. They are not responding to hails. All units, this is the Admiral. The freighter is a priority evidence vessel. It must be protected. Intercept that corvette. But the Swift Justice was already in the cluster, weaving through the debris with terrifying skill. It was closer than any of Kwan's ships. Its forward plasma cannons glowed with building charge, aimed right at the silent, bulky freighter. Lee Jae saw it all unfold. In seconds, the truth would be vaporized. And without it, everything would fall apart. The truce would shatter. He would be a rogue again. Ban's fleet would be destroyed. He had no weapons that could reach the corvette in time. His ship was still deep in the wreckage. But he had one thing. Position. Park. Full power to engines. Ramming course for the freighter. Sir. Park's eyes were huge. Not to hit it. To put us between it and those cannons. Now. All power to forward shields. Kim. Give me everything. The Magpie, old and battered, surged forward. Its engines screamed in protest. It shot out from its hiding place in a cloud of metal splinters, turning sharply. It was a lumbering beast compared to the sleek corvette, but it had a shorter path. On the screen, the Swift Justice fired. 2 brilliant lances of blue-white plasma streaked across the dark, straight for the freighter's main hull, and the Magpie slid into their path. The impact was like being hit by a star. The bridge lights died, then flickered on in emergency red. Alarms howled. The sound of tearing metal echoed through the decks. Lee Jae was thrown forward against his harness. The breath knocked from his lungs. Smoke poured from a console to his left. Report, he coughed. Forward shields are gone. Park yelled over the din. Hull breach on decks 4 and 5. Containment fields are holding. But we took the shots, sir. The freighter is untouched. On the viewer, Lee Jae could see the Swift Justice, already turning for another firing run, furious at the interference. But it was too late. Admiral Kwan's cruisers had closed the distance. Beams of tractor energy latched onto the rogue corvette, dragging it to a stop. Boarding pods shot from the cruisers like angry wasps. The fight was over. Lee Jae slumped back in his chair, his body aching. He looked at his crew. Park was bleeding from a cut on her forehead but was already rerouting power. Ensign Choi was helping her, his hands steady. A new channel opened. It was Admiral Kwan. His voice was different now, stripped of all doubt. Captain Lee, the Swift Justice is secured. Your data chip and the freighter's logs are being retrieved. Colonel Ban's fleet is powering down. Stand by for medical and engineering support. And Good work. Li Jie just nodded, too tired to speak. He looked at the main screen. His ship was broken, sitting between two fleets that were no longer trying to kill each other. The red warning on his console had finally, mercifully, gone dark. A week later, the battlecruiser Magpie drifted in the quiet dock of a unified command repair station. Its hull was a web of new plating and raw weld marks. Inside, the air still smelled of ozone and melted wire, but the lights were steady and the decks no longer groaned in pain. Captain Li Jie stood in the observation lounge, looking out at the stars. He wore a simple uniform, free of the medals others thought he might get. He did not want medals. He wanted the silence and the view. The door slid open behind him. Commander Park Sumin entered, walking with a slight stiffness from her injuries. She came to stand beside him, her hands clasped behind her back. They finished the debrief, she said. Admiral Quan signed off on it an hour ago. Li Jie nodded, not taking his eyes from the black. And Director Ko is in a maximum security cell. The data from the freighter's logs was comprehensive. It listed every transaction, every ship, every code he sold. It named names on both sides. The investigation is big. They are calling it the clean sweep. Li Jie allowed himself a small, tired breath. The truth had been ugly, but it was out. The corrupt official had not acted alone. A network of officers and bureaucrats had been feeding the separatists technology for years, profiting from a slow-burning war. Colonel Ban, Li Jie asked. His ships are impounded as agreed. His crew are in a POW camp, but it is a proper one. The Red Cross has been granted access. He is cooperating with interrogators, giving information on the separatist command structure. They say he is a very thorough. He seems to want the people who dealt with Ko gone as much as we do. There was a kind of justice in that, Li Jie thought. The enemy commander had been used, and his pride demanded a reckoning too. And us? Li Jie finally turned to look at her. Park's face was neutral, professional. The Magpie is to be fully repaired. Complete refit. It will take 6 months. The crew is granted extended leave with full honors. There is talk of a new posting for you. A promotion to Commodore. A desk on the main fleet base. He heard the question she did not ask. He looked back at the stars. A desk. It is what they offer when they do not know what else to do with you, Park said softly. When your actions saved everything, but also broke every rule in the book. He knew she was right. He had won, but he had done it by becoming a fugitive, by threatening a jump, by forging a deal with the enemy. The service did not know how to reward that. It only knew how to put it on a shelf. What about you? He asked. A faint smile touched her lips. Engineer Kim has already drawn up plans for the refit. She says she will not let strangers mess with her ship. Ensign Choi has been requested by Admiral Kwan's personal staff. They were impressed with his work under pressure. She paused. I have been offered my own command. A new frigate, the Swift. It is a good ship. It is, Li Jie said, and he meant it. She was ready. They all were. You should take it. I know. She fell silent for a moment. The two of them watching the slow dance of service shuttles outside the window. It does not feel like we lost, she said finally. But it does not feel like we won either. We stopped the lie, Li Jie said. That is what we did. The red warning was not about a ship. It was a warning about a sickness inside. We were the medicine. Medicine is not sweet. The door chimed. Ensign Choi Tae-won stood there, looking older than he had a week ago, but his eyes were clear. Captain, Admiral Kwan is here to see you. Li Jie straightened his jacket. Send him in. Admiral Kwan entered alone. He looked at Park and Choi and gave a short, respectful nod. They took the hint and left, the door closing behind them. Kwan stood beside Li Jie, looking out at the same view. For a long time he said nothing. The outpost crew made a full recovery, Kwan said at last. Doctor and sends her regards. She says you are a terrible patient but a good captain. Li Jie almost smiled. She is a good doctor. Another silence, more comfortable this time. I read the full logs from the freighter, Quan said, his voice lower. I saw the orders Ko gave. You were to be eliminated. The outpost was expendable. It was also clean in his mind. Just accounting. He turned to face Li Jie. You were right to run. I was wrong to order you to stand down. For what it is worth, I am sorry. The apology was direct and it meant something. Li Jie nodded. You had the picture he painted for you. I would have given the same order. Quan accepted this. The promotion is real. The desk is real. But it is not what you want, is it? Li Jie looked at his ship, the scarred and noble Magpie, resting in its dock. No, sir. It is not. I did not think so. Quan reached into his jacket and pulled out a small data chip. He handed it to Li Jie. This is the preliminary report for the clean sweep. There are gaps. Shadows the data does not reach. Networks outside our space. The job of finding the rest of the sickness. It is not a desk job. It needs a certain kind of captain. One who knows how to see the truth when he is told he is a liar. One who can navigate the dark. Li Jie held the chip, feeling its weight. And my ship. The Magpie will be your ship. When it is reborn, it will be the best scout and hunter in the fleet. Your crew, if they will follow you. Your rules within reason. Your mission. Find the rest of the rot, wherever it is. Li Jie looked from the chip to his ship, and back to the admiral. It was not a reward. It was a responsibility. It was trust. I understand, Li Jie said. Good. Quan turned to leave. At the door he stopped. That warning. A human battlecruiser is advancing rapidly. He glanced back, a trace of something like respect in his eyes. Let us hope the next time it flashes on a screen, it is for someone else, and that you are already on your way to stop them. The admiral left. Li Jie was alone again with the stars. He placed the data chip in his pocket. Outside, teams of engineers were already crawling over the Magpie, giving it new bones, new muscle. It was not over. It was just a different kind of duty, a quieter war in the shadows. But he had his ship. He had his truth. And for now, that was enough. The red warning was cleared, but the watch, he knew, never really ended.